Institute, CMA Vishnu Basuji, Secretary of the Institute, Kaushik Banerjee ji, dear production colleagues, uh, and my friends from chapter, regions, and the council. I hope all of you are safe and taking good care of your family. The government has taken several necessary and timely decisions to combat COVID-19, which has posed a unique challenge that has impacted all of us. I would like to express my concern and support for all the members, students, and other stakeholders affected by this outbreak. This is a crisis that has affected everyone, but we will get through it by planning together. The mantra is be at home, be safe during this planned lockdown period. During this lockdown period of 40 days, the initial 30 days and now by 19 days since 25th of March 2020, all companies, sector, professionals are abiding by the restrictions imposed by the government for the safety and health and security of all the citizens by observing social distancing and staying back at their home except for an emergency service. Why we are talking here today, what is the objective of today's talk? It is to discuss that we are concerned, we are with you in this hour of need. What initiatives have been taken by the government in respect of members, in respect of students, industry, and for the stakeholders? What initiatives have been taken by the institute for the members? How we foresee the industry and the professional working after COVID? How current year cost audits will be conducted? How to consider expenditure of lockdown period in cost statements? How to value inventories? How active is your institute today during the lockdown period? How your institute interacting with MC and the government in these days? And lot more to discuss. My friends, the institute is committed to support every possible initiative of the government. And in furtherance of that, the institute has initiated various measures to support the nation. The government has set up a PM CARES Fund. The fund has been set up for faster and collective action to reduce the suffering of those affected, control the damage to infrastructure, and lot more. We feel extremely pleased to share that the institute has contributed a sum of rupees 2.5 crores out of the corpus of the institute to the PM CARES Fund. This contribution is based on the available corpus of the institute. My other institutions are also contributing based on the same level of the planning and calculations based on the corpus funds of the institute. In addition to the contribution by the institute, my council colleagues have also contributed. I'm pleased to share that the staff members of the institute have also contributed an amount ranging from minimum 1 day salary to certain more day salary as per their salary levels. We have appealed to all of you also, the members, the students, to contribute towards the cause through the institute. I extend heartfelt thanks and appreciation to all the contributors. These collections will be separately sent to the PM CARES funds in addition to the institute's contribution. I appeal for further contributions to the fund, the institute, for which link is provided at the website of the institute. Furthermore, certain regional councils and the chapters have also contributed to their respective state governments, including contributions received by them at the regional and the local level. But the government has announced various relief measures for the stakeholders relating to statutory regulatory compliances matter in the situation. Measures announced includes direct taxes, taxes, customs, finance, commerce, health, and a lot more. This situation makes it very difficult to comply with the statutory and legal provisions, which require face-to-face interactions also in some cases. The relief measures like extending the date of income tax return for the previous financial year 18-19, dates for GST return, PAN, Aadhaar linking dates, availing benefit of the Vishwas scheme, dispute resolution scheme, extending tax saving investment scheme for everybody, another relaxation in taxation that have been announced by the government. The statutory complying burden on companies by waiving additional fee, that is a late fee for filing with MC21, relaxing the mandatory requirement of holding board meetings, deferment of applicability of RO, and others are surely a benefit or a relief to the regarding our parent ministry, the company's law fresh start scheme 2020. That scheme gives one-time opportunity to the corporates to complete their pending compliances and by filing the all pending documents at the MCA 21 portal, irrespective of any earlier due dates. This benefit of a start scheme will not only reduce the compliance burden, which also will reduce the financial burden on the companies as well as the LLPs. This will enable long-standing non-compliant companies to make a fresh start. In this regard, I would like to bring to your notice about members in practice specifically and also in industry dealing with the cost audit, that we for the last certain time we have seen there is a strict compliance of section 148 by the cost audit branch. In the recent year, we have seen prosecutions being launched against the corporate in case of non-filing or delayed filing of cost audit reports under the I would like to stress here that the scheme, Fresh Start scheme, covers relaxations relating to cost audit compliances also. You may file pending forms of appointment of a cost auditor under the scheme, whether it is a cost auditor appointment form of CRA2 under the Companies Act 2013, or it was an old form 23C together with 23D under the old Act 1950. These all can be filed. Also, you can file cost audit report in form CRA4 under the Company Act or earlier cost audit report or earlier compliance report under the earlier act. Form 1 or Form A can still be filed under this scheme from 1st April till 30th September. All such pending documents filed under this scheme will be at a normal fees, no late fee, no additional fees. Moreover, no prosecution will be there. It is a great opportunity for the profession to help the industry in updation of pending compliances in respect of cost audit. My professional colleagues may also support the industry in completion of various other compliances under the Companies Act also, because we are authorized to certify, verify large number of forms, almost all. The scheme allows various other documents like DIN 3 KYC for activation of deactivated DINs, which presently requires 5,000 rupees. Under this scheme, it will be 0. AOC 4 for financial statements, MGT 7 for annual return, and large number of other forms. There is a complete list of 76 forms which can be filed by companies and LLP. You can download this list from the portal of PMC. Also, we will upload at our website. 76 forms can be filed under this scheme, the company's Fresh Start scheme, and under the LLP, the scheme name is LLP settlement scheme. These measures will ensure enhanced compliances by the corporate without any additional burden. Our interaction with the MCA, during this period, the interaction of the Institute and MCA is still continuing. Even today, one meeting was a matter of chance scheduled afternoon, matching with this, which has been got postponed to tomorrow. We are continuing interacting with the MCA through the online meetings and making sure that whatever the issues are there or the professionals are being addressed appropriately. MCA offices are open. They're open working at that. The Institute and the MCA are aware of the situation and continuing the examining sessions required for the members, sessions required for the student, and required by other stakeholders from various acts, rules, regulations within the preview of the MCA and the Institute. Extending date for filing examination form for the student is once a year. It is under the MCA preview to extend the date, which was permission was granted last week by them. Any relaxations under consideration related to the Institute working present scenario. Even only yesterday, a relaxation has been given to the companies whose financial year ended on 31st December 19 to conduct each year by 30th September of 2020. Such relaxation will continue as and when required and as and when brought to the notice. I'll discuss about certain initiatives relating to proposed amendments, rules, regulation in respect of various laws and policies. First, I would like to discuss the matter in respect of draft companies CSR policy amendment rules 2020. Recently, MCA has released the draft company CSR policy amendment rules which proposes amendments to company's CSR policy of the 2014 rules. These were put to the public comment. The policy was also hosted at MCA website, and we had also circulated to all of you, all the members for the suggestions. I'm happy to inform you that the Institute, after examining the comments, suggestions received from all of you, have submitted the comments to the MCA on 10th April within the due date, and we are following up the matter with them. Secondly, about the proposal to set up a National Institute of Valuers. Presently, the valuation profession is being regulated by IBBI, that is the Solvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, which is a regulator for the insolvency professionals. They were empowered to regulate valuers only as an interim measure. The government intends to set up separate statutory measure under the separate authority. Recently, a committee of experts was constituted to examine the need of institutional framework for regulation and development of professional. I got the opportunity to be the member of the committee. The committee had extensive consultations, online roundtables across the country with stakeholders. Recent meetings were definitely online, and registered value organization meetings were there, valuers meetings were there, professional institute meeting, trade, industry. And after all the consultation process, the committee has submitted the report to MCA, National Institute of Valuers. MCA this week only has hosted this draft Valuer Bill 2020 at their website for public comments. The comments are required to be submitted to MCA within 14th May 2020. All of you are requested to go through the draft bill and submit your comments and suggestions to the Institute, or you may also send directly to the MCA as may be convenient to you. Third matter related to the amendments. This week only the Electricity Amendment Bill 2020 is passed by the government for public comments, for which the comments are required to be submitted by 7th of May. It appears the apparent from the draft electricity bill that cost reflective tariff for supply of electricity will be without considering cross subsidy. Because all subsidies shall be directly transferred to the beneficiaries. Discounts will be permitted to recover real cost, fair cost from consumers. Detailed analysis will make in the institute in the coming days, and we'll give our comments. You are also requested to give your suggestions and comments on this bill also. Now I will discuss about the initiatives of various committees of the institute to bring out various technical notes, technical publications to support the government and the industry. The committees of the institute are working hard with technical expertise of the council members, past presidents, and other experts in the domain to suggest to the government the way ahead post COVID-19. COVID-19 has created a devastating impact on the economy of almost all the countries in the world. In fact, distressed business across sectors we have seen, MSME are facing the severe financial and liquidity constraints due to disruption of supply chains, statutory payment, and many other badly their MSME fiscal and monetary health is affected. The institute is preparing an advisory on MSME to present to the government at this critical stage. This is being finalized to the Banking and Insurance Committee. In the last few days, the Banking and Insurance Committee of the Institute has conducted a short survey among us members for receiving feedback. We have received a good number of your feedback, the survey responses within the last week of 18th April, just 3 days back. And now we are in the process of compiling the survey results and will ascertain strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats of the MSME of the country. And the same will be used to prepare a policy description for the government, highlighting the key necessity of the sector. The second document being prepared by the Institute is the Professional Development Committee to analyze the impact of COVID-19 on industry. This challenging phase has disrupted the social and business activities worldwide. The various governments are taking drastic measures, including locking down the entire country. Lockdown has affected industry across sectors. The global economy has hit to the worst recession since the Great Depression of 1930s. The government has constituted the empowered group headed by Economic Affairs Secretary for suggesting measures that can bring economy back on the track post-lockdown. Views, suggestions, and comments on the impact of COVID-19 on industry and the remedial measures for recovery of industry have been sought from all of you, the members of the institute. The last date of, we have requested that you should give your comments by 22nd April, that is today. I will request to look into it and ensure that you provide your feedback by today, the end. The third initiative of the institute is through Management Accounting Committee. Very shortly, we will be releasing a publication, Board Reporting Framework, post-COVID-19, corporate governance perspective. The concept behind this publication is that after COVID-19, business will require new corporate governance perspective. And board reporting is bound to change. It need re-engineering accordingly. There is a clear need to have a well-defined management reporting to update the board on the crisis and its impact on business fundamentals. How effective the management efforts will be there to mitigate the impact, how the business is covering. These are important things which board need to adapt in the working mode to all the speed of events. Application will support the boards, how they will be proceeding and looking in the future. Fourth initiative is planning to release shortly a publication, which already finalized for shortly publication on monogram on post-COVID-19 and lockdown, business continuity and sustainability, which is again being finalized by the Management Accounting Committee. Now, after COVID, there will be distinct change in the work culture. Work from home may become an integral part and would be put to full. Even those who were later adopters of technology have already come on the board. People distancing will be the new business norm. People won't travel and take health risks. Country would be careful in allowing tourists. Travel will be more digital. Safety, trust, transparency will be the drive force for the people. There will be a lot of supply chain, trusted supplies in terms of cross-border sources. Businesses today have no choice but to adapt quickly to market changes and be agile to sustainability. This monogram on business continuity and sustainability will be excellent document to support the changing business needs. The fifth publication in such a document is being prepared by technical cell of the institute on rebooting the economy post-lockdown advantage India. Some of these points have also been given by the Vice President on this topic. There is a likely shift of trade from country from where the virus spread. This will be an advantage to India post-COVID-19. It is very well positioned to help build more dynamic and sustainable world. Based on global competitive index, India is a most competitive country in this part of the world. We have competitive advantage in various sectors, including IT, pharma, biotech. This document will showcase the opportunity in which India is in advantageous position. Now, I would like to discuss certain matters on advisories and indications related to our cost audit mechanism. How our cost audit will be affected. First concern in it. First concern in it is about the filing of a cost audit and conduct of a cost audit in respect of a company whose financial years ended on 31st December 2019. A report is required to be uploaded filed within 180 days, meaning thereby their due date of filing will be June end. We have received certain requests from the industry and the members professionals in this regard. We have already discussed with the government and appropriate relaxation in filing will be granted. Second concern related to our cost matters is treatment of various expenditure incurred during this lockdown period in our cost statements. I'm happy to inform Cost Accounting Standards Boards of the Institute has already released advisory in the matter how to treat such expenses of the lockdown expenses in our cost statements. I'm further happy to share that our document is well appreciated in the world. The International Federation of Accountants have hosted our document of advisory issued by the Cost Accounting Standards Board on their own website, and I Now, what this advisory primarily consists of? The first thing is whether some fixed cost will be excluded in this year when we are finalizing our cost statements. Generally, there is a one exclusion. Abnormal cost is excluded based on the underutilization of our capacity. But here we have seen the second dimension. In this year, there will be two exclusions of abnormal cost. One, cost of a lockdown period, whatever the fixed cost and enterprises incurred during this lockdown period, that is abnormal, that will be straightway excluded from the cost statement. That is the one exclusion. Second, since the fixed cost is absorbed based on the normal capacity, whatever the underutilization capacity is there, that portion will go to abnormal. It means this abnormal cost will go out of the cost statement. One state, cost of the lockdown. Second, the cost of the year of the normal period for the unutilized capacity also goes. Now, the second question is whether some variable cost will be excluded. You may be surprised what I'm talking about. Variable cost has to be absorbed in the product cost. How that can be excluded? But after analyzing this, the COVID situation, all these mathematics and the costing principles, we have come out with the guidance in that the document issued by the Cost Accounting Standard Board. There are some variable costs which are abnormal in nature, considering the COVID. You're surprised what? Direct employee cost, which is being paid based on variable parameters. During this lockdown, the government has advised you don't deduct salaries or don't deduct payments. The entrepreneur may be required to pay the salaries to certain employees. Maybe those who are engaged only on the variable cost parameters also would pay. Similarly, when the lockdown comes, we come out of lockdown, there may be excess production of utilities in the restart period, high utilization of consumable stores in initial period of coming back to the normal. That will be a variable abnormal cost. That also been in the guidance to explore. The third question regarding the costing principle is how to value inventories and how to conduct the stock audit. There's a common query from our members. The physical audits are not possible in 31st March. We have to go by the backward forward integration, the principles, which you are all experts in the domain, that you do the audit on a date for whenever you're doing, and you have to see the backward calculation of inward outward if whether your company was allowed to open because of sanctions, and you do the backward integration of the plus and minus and reach the inventory of the 31st March. It definitely was not possible on 31st March. The fourth concern regarding cost audit is how cost audit will be conducted during this year. There is a concern of social distancing. It will take some time to achieve complete normalcy. We are deliberating on a concept of audit. We are working on that, and we'll see that guidance note or advice is prepared to plan a procedure of conduct of cost audit as an e-audit for this year only, as an alternate measure to audit in person, which document can be used, which is in case social distancing is followed in the post-COVID also. We'll get back to you in this matter as and when we are ready with the procedure. Needless to say, this audit will be within the ambit of cost audit standards and cost audit national standard already notified by the government. It has to be within the same parameters, but we'll look for a special system this year. Considering the social distancing will be maintained even after lockdown. The fifth point of discussion relating to the cost audit is that Cost and Assurance Standards Board of the Institute has released exposure draft of frequently asked questions, FAQ on standards of costing. There are 4 standards of costing mandatory: 101, 102, 103, and 104. Now we are in the process of issuing FAQs, how to follow standards and various queries. This document was hosted by the CAASB for public comments. The last date of sending the comments is 30th April. I request you please offer your suggestions for improvement within the due date of 30th April so that final document is approved and released for benefit all. Don't worry, we are working from home. The document will be, all documents are being processed. The 6th point of information relating to the cost audits. We also need to bring an advisory or a guidance for year 2020-2021 in lines with the advice already issued in respect of treatment of cost during lockdown. Certain period of lockdown and COVID effect was in April 20 to March 2020. We have noted this requirement and will work on it in the due course. It is required for the next year. We will work on it in the due course. We are aware of the requirements. There are three issues which I want to discuss, which have been taken up with the government in respect of costing in healthcare. First is the computation of cost of COVID-19 tests. One of the measures taken by government is testing COVID-19 disease through various testing protocols. Indian Council of Medical Research has put a cap of rupees 4,500 for coronavirus test protocols, which was challenged in the Apex Court and was ordered that such a test should be free of cost. Later on, it was clarified these should be free of cost for the poor. In any case, whether free of cost for all or for poor, there is a need for reimbursement by the government to the private laboratories. The challenge for any country in the world is to see that these tests are given to the public at large at affordable cost. The challenge is particularly acute given the rising cost of resources involved in testing protocols. The institute has offered its services on a voluntary basis to Indian Council of Medical Research with regard to costing of the coronavirus test to be carried out by the government or the private labs. The second proposal is coding of diseases and its costing. There should be a coding system in order to have a clearer picture on code the cost of treatment for various diseases. Such a system would also help in ensuring affordable cost of various treatments. At present, we have costing mechanism and cost audit in place in respect of medical devices, including funds. In respect of healthcare audit, it is a costing mechanism being followed. It's not disease-wise. The institute already has a guidance note on cost management in healthcare sector, which was released in the year 2015, which talks of disease-wise. We have made the suggestion to the government that disease-based coding should be implemented in India, and we are ready to support the government in finding out such costs. And the institute already collected similar 2% in the year 2014 and 15. A lot of smaller projects were there. The third proposal is about mandatory implementation of costing mechanism in healthcare entities in non-corporate sector. At present, we are all aware that the cost audit mechanism is only on a corporate sector under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. This limited mechanism we have experienced. There is a need to make costing principles mandatory to healthcare entities in non-corporate. This can be made mandatory by Ministry of Health. Accurate pricing of healthcare services and robust costing mechanism is necessary to ensure affordable services for patients. Such a mechanism will also benefit the healthcare entities also. I'm not going that they will be at disadvantage. Presently, there are 24 cost costing standards issued by the institute. Such standards, such principles enable an entity to determine available capacity correctly. And when the available capacity is correctly known, the entity can plan appropriate proper utilization of the resources in the most efficient manner, which will lead to their advantage. The procedure of a costing and cost management can play a large role in changing the dynamics of the healthcare industry. We have requested the government in this regard also. I would like to inform you of the publications released during the lockdown period, dedicated efforts of consultants, committees, and the staff at large. First is release of guidance note on anti-profiteering. We have released guidance note on anti-profiteering only last week. It has been finalized through the taxation committee. I hope it will be of utmost importance and support to the members while doing their professional work. The second publication is again by the taxation committee. The committee has released 61st taxation bulletin on 2nd April. 62nd bulletin on 17th April. We are issuing 2 bulletins a month. See the date, 2nd April, 7th April, exactly 15 days. This is the way we are working. See the consistency. Despite being in lockdown, we are ensuring timely release of all such publications. Third, members in the industry committee has very timely released its member in industry bulletin after lockdown. Fourth, have you seen your management content this year? Yes, online is available. The beginning of April, it was there in time. Despite the lockdown, journal was there in time. Definitely, the physical copy can be posted only after the lockdown, but the e-journal is available in this website and was sent through the email to everybody also. We are working, all the department across are working with the same, or I would say the faster speed. In respect of the government interaction with the institute, I would like to bring to your notice one more thing. That recently, government of Assam has set up task force to improve performance of Assam public sector undertakings, with the institute at its member. The meeting happened with the chief secretary of government of Assam, and they included institute as a member in their advisory. This is a result of the presentation made by the institute with the government at the meeting, which was chaired by principal secretary before the lockdown period. I would now like to discuss certain rules and the decisions relating to the members and the students. The institute has taken various measures for the convenience of members, convenience of students, convenience of other stakeholders in this lockdown period. In this crucial time, the institute is continuing to serve members and everybody. Employees are working remotely at home and providing all such services for which the online mechanism is possible. Measures relating to the members include number one, the extension of a CPR credit. For renewal of a COP, cost accountant in practice is required to complete certain number of hours by 31st March every. During the lockdown situation, we have extended it to a period up to 30th June. Further extension or exemption will be provided if warranted by the situation. But we have learning facility available to webinar also. We will extend only if warranted by the situation. The second point I would like to discuss for the benefit is of the webinars for the members. These webinars were already in place long time before the situation, and were ensuring that the learning is continuous to the members across India, though we had the limited capacity. The number of webinars have been enhanced after lockdown so that you continue to get learning at home even this period. About 60 webinars have been organized after 22nd of March. For the members, these have been organized by the different committees and different departments of the institute. I hope the practicing members must have utilized this initiative to complete the learning hours in this extended period. Maybe the extension of CPR is not required considering this situation. I'm further happy to inform that our webinar system, which had a limited capacity 10 days back, speaking 10 days back, that is within the lockdown period, we have enhanced the capacity of that, what was possible for work from home. Now, capacity of webinar is enhanced 10 days back, and we are catering to more number of members addressing in the webinar. This will be further enhanced the moment the lockdown is over. Within 1 to 2 days of opening of lockdown, we will enhance it multiple times. The institute has further planned a series of webinars, and all list is available at the website of the institute. So this month, next month, large number of webinars are already posted. List is already posted on the website. So please look into it and make optimal of your time and learn afterward learning of the subject of the choice. The institute had initiated mandatory capacity building training (MCBT). This was for 6 days, mandatory for new COP holders. Considering the present situation, the training due dates were required to done within 6 months of the taking of COP, fresh COP. So, a lot of members are not able to do it within the 6 months of obtaining COP, and considering the situation has due date has been extended till further order. I am further happy to inform you this month, April, has been announced as internal audit month by the Internal Auditing Standard Board. to create awareness, train members professional in the domain of internal auditing and FP&A. You may be aware that you are aware that under the Companies Act we are empowered for internal audit. However, this is the first year when this council decided to give more stress, bring out more publication to have focused approach toward internal audit, and the first time internal auditing standard board was set up. Now, this month we are celebrating the internal audit awareness month. This internal audit travels beyond the business function and drive into the arena of performance measurement, decision making. A series of webinars have been planned this month. A large number of already happened. And now we are nearing the month end, and key content have been delivered to you based on internal audit. Queries had been received from members about the membership fees, and even now I'm receiving large number of queries that the membership fees has become due on 1st April. Where is the extension, whether it's required or not? I'm bringing to your notice as per the regulations, the fees is definitely due on 1st April, whether it's associate or fellow. But the provision is there that no punitive action can be taken unless the expiry of 6 months. Because if you pay within the period of 6 months by 30th September, nothing is going to happen. The relaxation is already in place in Regulation 7.6. It says payment within 6 months is possible, and accordingly you can go ahead with that. Online portals are available. Those who want to pay in by check or draft or wait for the lockdown. Otherwise, online portals are open for which you can pay the fees. You can pay at the website of the institute and online. The online system is working fairly well. Definitely, sometimes some issue happens, which we solve immediately, looking at a constraint at work from home. But while paying the fees today, you have to take care that you have to write the amount manually of the amount you want to pay. The dues of current year could not be loaded on all the members database because we are working from home. Server is at office. In the moment you will log into your ID, you will find member due 0. But you go ahead, pay now, and pay whatever you want. It is possible. Moreover, there is no need to go to the login ID. Anybody can pay fees for anybody. On the front page of the website, we have created a link: pay membership fees here. The moment you put a click on the pay membership fee, you can straightway pay fees without going to any login ID or any password. Straight open, you can pay fees with the amount you want to pay, and you can pay it. 30 September is there for those who didn't know. Queries have been received in respect of certificate practice. What is the date of cancellation renewal? Earlier also I had circulated one advisory that the certificate of practice can be applied for renewal within 30th of June as per the regulations. Can be applied within 30th June. And COP will be renewed without any break. But this does not give a blanket or automatic extension. Suppose today is 22nd April. Suppose somebody has not applied for COP renewal. His or her COP or the website in the government record, official record, will depict valid up to 31st March 2020. Suppose the same person applies today or tomorrow for renewal by 30th of June, then the regulations of the Act and Regulation provide the COP can be renewed from the 1st April itself. Meaning that till the time you renew, it will be valid till 31st March. After you apply for renewal, only then it will be extended to next 1 year. Make sure that you give application in time by 30th June. Even concerns have been raised from certain members that some senior members that it is not possible to pay online who are not in a habit of paying, that we used to go to office and pay manually, give the form manually or check manually. What to do? Presently, post offices are off, postal is off, postal courier, everything is off. Our office is also off. So we are working from home. In that cases, don't worry. You wait for some time and you give the physical document after the lockdown is over. We may extend the date only if extremely necessary. Please note, it has never happened earlier. COP date has always been up to 30th June. Extension is not easy. Still, we are open for any decision. The online process is working. Still, we are open for any decision making in accordance with the situation. I repeat, strictly only if extremely necessary, we can think over the process of extension. Otherwise, it's normally not easy to extend. Presently, working from home, we are ensuring that all renewal COP are being issued in 1 day period generally, subject to definitely exceptional cases where there are shortcoming of document. Otherwise, normally in 24 hours, we are issuing COP working at home. Further, happy to share that since this January 2020, we had implemented a robust mechanism to ensure that certificate of practice are granted within upper limit of 3 days. Membership associate fellowships are processed within an upper limit of 2 weeks. There is only one exception, that is March, where there is a general tendency to shift the approval of the membership to the 1st April. Otherwise, another annual fee will be levied on you. Because fees is from April to March, we approve on 27th March, and member will be required to pay another fees for 1st April. Just on the last few days, we take care of the 1st April. Otherwise, now the rule is there that we will process the membership not more than 2 weeks. Not a rule. We are following it since January. And similarly, COP upper limit has been given 3 days, but generally being processed in 1 day. In respect of the recent results and planning for the campus placements, we, with the very good plans, had started the 12 days pre-placement orientation program at 11 locations across India. It started on the 12th of March, and thereafter the COVID message started spreading, and we had to discontinue such trainings in between. Now that because the trainings have been suspended, campus placements are also being affected all over because of the lockdown. We need to analyze the situation after COVID, how the placement will work, in how much time it will normalize. Be sure we are with you to ensure the best services in this regard. Due to COVID, all establishment, all educational institutions being closed, students are away from the classes, and presently students are at home and preparing for the June 2020 examination. In view of the present situation, the Director of Studies took a very timely initiative to guide the students with online e-learning study sessions through existing webinar platform to provide academic inputs and guidance on the core subject areas as per our curriculum. Subject-wise classes are going on. Best of the resource pool and mentors are reaching out to students online every day in different virtual classroom sessions, and students are interacting to the faculty through the chat option. This online study facility has been made operational from 30th of March this month. You may advise the students know to you so that they can take the best benefit of the online facilities given by the institute. Certain related to the international working, though presently nobody would like to go out of India in the present situation till the time normalcy comes. Still, there was one matter being going on. I would like to share that the institute had taken up with NARIC, NARIC UK, the task of benchmarking study of CMA qualification in the context of UK and UAE study systems. This National Recognition Information Center is a renowned UK national agency responsible for providing information expert opinion on qualification and skills worldwide. The skill worldwide. Even during this process, they are interacting with us. I would say they are interacting with us, and the process is going on for earlier recognition of our qualification by NARIC, which will be used worldwide. I'm just sharing because shared this because during this lockdown also we are working on it. But that issue is also in touch with us, and we are regularly working in it. About some IT issue, IT matters, the IT committee matters, or the IT platforms. It is the backbone of any organization, whether it is the online student classes or webinars of our members, or maybe online application for membership, COP, payment fee, student admission. We all need a strong information technology system is necessary. That support is mandatory. This IT committee is extending all support continuously, specifically since lockdown. Whatever is we are working is a support of IT. They are working, people are working day and night to ensure continuous support to various initiatives of departments of the institute. Further, to have robust mechanism, the Information Technology Committee has taken up an ambitious project of digitization of institute's activities. The committee has worked out broad plan and I even had sent communication in the first week of April to all of you also. They want to achieve the goal of digital transformation in a phased manner. You can share your experiences of interacting with the institute platform so that while going for robust mechanism, your suggestion can be taken into consideration for improvement and better results for all of us. Our company insolvency professional agency was regularly conducting webinars for the benefit of all, even in this lockdown period. That IPA this is still continuing with the same speed, the webinars for the benefits of all. Our second company, value company, that is ICMI Registered Values Organization, they have taken the initiative and have started mandatory 50-hour valuation course through online mode. Before appearing for the valuation exam, 50-hour valuation classes are mandatory. The government last week permitted us to do through online mode. Day before yesterday, we have started with the 50-hour online classes. After 50-hour online classes, the attending friends, members will be able to be ready examination. Now the next batch, which is again admissions have started, will begin on 27th. Just note the date, 27th, we are going with the new batch of valuation classes of the 50 hours. You may take advantage of the available time, complete the mandatory course at home before appearing in the valuation examination. Admission can be done online through the website of the institute. Those who want to know about the valuation, what it is, practical approach to the valuation, we are going for a 2 days practical approach discussion on 29th of this month and 30th of this month. Details will be hosted shortly at the website of the institute. You can look into it, and 29th, 30th, you can come to know about this valuation courses also. There's another course that by IACA, Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, about independent actors. I'm looking at the various social media by a large number of members are posting their certificates that they have qualified that independent actor examinations. So my congratulations to them. I'm happy to see that they are utilizing their time and this lockdown and studying and qualifying this examination. Now, why this examination being qualified in lockdown, not the IP and not the valuation? Valuation, IP, valuation as well as IP will be collected only after the lockdown is over. That is at the different agencies conducted. You have to visit some place. In case of an independent director exam, that you can give from your own laptop. The moment you take the admission, you log in for the exam, fix the time, fix the available time. Certain times are there, 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 8 p.m. You book your seat, and after your exam starts, your camera will get on, and you can give the examination online from home. Please utilize your spare time for learning and qualify the independent director examination. Why not? The institute also started with the SAP course a few months back, which was immediately fulfilled. All seats were pulled immediately when it was launched. Definitely, the lockdown period is there. It would have been good had we started second batch of SAP. We are looking into it, and let us see. We will bring another batch of SAP. I don't think in a very 7-10 days, but let it be. We are looking into it. Let's have this batch in the coming few weeks, so that the learning you can have in this app also. We have recently issued a notification. I'm getting a lot of calls. Sir, the institute is working very fast. I am seeing a number of notifications. We are seeing number of notifications issued regular basis. We have not seen such speed earlier. The institute is working more faster during this lockdown period. Now, one of the notification, CMA before the name. We have seen in the social media and other documents that the CMA word is being used by other than members also. We have given the clarification, issue the notification that it is allowed only to the member. That is available at the website. You can look into it. UDI number mandatory for your reports. Definitely in the lockdown, the reports are you're free from those issuing of reports. Still, some issues came to us that being lockdown period or some technical issues came. The UDI number could not be generated in time, required time. Please give extension. There is no general extension on it. However, case-to-case basis, we have empowered the institute has given permission. Case-to-case basis, if somebody has missed the UDN number for a genuine reason, you can send your request. We'll look into it and we'll permit that also. When I'm talking of the UDN, I'm talking of the practicing members. What is happening to the trainings? Training sitting at home. We have given some relaxation to the student for this attempt, June 2020. Whether any relaxation is required for a December student also. Sir, appearing in the exam for older students, 6 months training is mandatory. For the new student, 15 months. Whether the students will be able to get 6 months training considering this lockdown. Generally, the training period is April to September. Then student appears in December. Meaning thereby we have given relaxation for June examination from the training. We are aware. We also need to give some relaxation for December exam. Because April to September, student need to complete training. April is already over. We know this. I'm sharing with the practicing members. Tell your trainees or staff members known to you or students known to you. Don't worry. We'll bring appropriately. I also have a separate discussion with students tomorrow. I'll discuss there also. But being trainees working with you, I wanted it to talk to you also. Student admission on provisional basis. The provisions are there. Considering the present situation where the board examination, university examinations are being delayed, automatically the students joining CMA course, there will be an issue because they will not be having their previous course completions. Accordingly, student admission on provisional basis will be announcing, which is already permitted under the regulations. We will be announcing that also, so that the student should not suffer and they're able to take admission within the due date. There were certain proposals by the council about fees waiver in the Jammu Kashmir and Northeast. Though the proposals were initially approved of 50% fee waiver in October, and in February we had approved certain proposals, 50% fees waiver in Jammu Kashmir and 75% in Northeast. That proposals have been implemented this week only. Now again I'm telling, work from home, the notification is issued that that has been implemented this week only. Syllabus revision 2020 is already underway, though the period we are at home, at the back end the committees are working and we are nearly ready with the syllabus revision. At the back end the process is already despite this process. I'm very happy to share yesterday one document came to my knowledge about the students have given a very good picture of Patiala chapter's cost content, looking stay at home, be safe. They have passed on the very message on social media and very good government response has come to that the student document, stay at home, be safe. Maybe sharing it separately on the website also. Make sure that the international meetings are still continuing on the international level. We have our South Asian Federation of Accountants meeting scheduled next week. We are working back end all. Now, what is the situation of this? Since my regional council and the chapter friends are here, I would like to just address 1 minute on their matters. Regional council meetings, whether it can be conducted online, as of today, the regulations are not there. We are just awaiting the government consent and shortly we'll get back to you. And some chapters may have at the back end, sir, what will happen to our AGM 31st May? We will not be able to conduct, there is no balance sheet ready. How will we be able to conduct? This is all lockdown. Yes, we are aware of the situation and appropriate will come back to you with all sort of relaxations, whatever are required. Even in the chapter bylaws, online meeting permissions are not there. Circular decision by circulations are also not, provisions are not there in chapter bylaws. We are aware of that and we are coming out with the appropriate guidelines. Through institute, through a circular, requested the members to refrain from sharing news on the WhatsApp or the social media, which may bring communal differences and otherwise. I once again reiterate that make sure be aware, be sure that you don't share some objectionable things in the website. And at this time, I've taken a lot of time loss. I'm thankful to my all council colleagues for very timely planning, the major for the members, the major for students and other stakeholders at large, and also for extending the financial support to the government. I'm thankful to the council colleagues and chairman of respective committees for planning series of webinars on continuous learning of members and to ensure study at home for the students of the institute. My thanks to each one. First to CMA Bishru Basuji. I will give an introduction to my council colleagues also. Those the definitely photo is not possible. I will pass on my thanks and you should know who is the back end of what. Bishru Basuji is the vice president and is the chairman of the students committee. Whatever the student relaxations are coming, he is the one man behind all those. My thanks to H. Padmanabhanji, our council member, who is the backbone to the webinar extensions since years together. He's the key person to see that webinars are increased, quality webinars are there, quality speakers are there. He's the key person in bringing the webinar to you. He is the chairman of Regional Council and Chapters Committee, coordinating with all the regional chapter about whatever we are doing, sharing that. He's a vibrant in that, and also looking after the students through the CAT course. My thanks to CMA Neeraj Joshi ji, who is the chairman of Cost Accounting Standard Board, who has very timely brought out a publication advisory of cost during lockdown period. Very timely, and the MC has appreciated. I'm happy that IFAC international body is also hosted on the website. And Mr. Joshi, as a Cost Accounting Standard Board, is also working on more publication, which I told you in my discussion. My thanks to CMA Vijender Sharma ji, who is the chairman of the membership committee, as well as chairman of PD committee. Now see what he is doing. It was membership committee with all such relaxations are being routed and suggested by him only, whatever is coming to you. Secondly, PD. PD is the backbone for bringing the knowledge to you. Because both departments are being handled, working from him, he is taking care of all people at the back end and see that all sport in the form of education reaches to you and the member conveniences. And CMA Ashwin Talwarji is my IT committee chairman. He should have been thanked above all, because all IT is the backbone. IT backbone is Ashwin Talwarji. He's looking at it. Also, he's the chairman of Management Accounting Committee, who is releasing 2 publications shortly. My thanks to Devashish Mitra ji, who at the back end, is planning for the advanced studies courses, despite this period of lockdown. Key courses on forensic, NDS, and data analytical at the advanced stages of finalization, and very shortly we will be releasing. Despite a period of lockdown, we will come out with that. My thanks to CMA Dr. Ashish Thatteji, who is the chairman of Cost Auditing Standard Board, who has released FAQ to you. Project comments for 30th is the last date, and also is the chairman of International Committee, who is looking after the recognition of NARIC, which I told, working from home and taking care of all the department. Thanks to CMA Niranjan Mishra ji, who is chairman of Indirect Tax Committees, and I already shared that 2 publications have already well in time publication by taxation were there, 61st, 62nd bulletin. And my thanks to Rakesh Balaji, who's the chairman of Direct Tax Committee. The publications are jointly by the Direct and Tax Committee. I'm thankful that sitting at home, he's seeing that all taxation publications are there in time, and even the government representation is working from home. My thanks to CMA P. Raju Iyer ji, who's the chairman of Internal Auditing and National Standard Board, and this month is being celebrated, and he has given a large number of webinars to you on this. He's also supporting various publications with other committees. My thanks to V. Murali, who's chairman of Corporate Laws Committee. I talked about certain relaxation from the company's law by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and also the comments on CSR. Whatever the corporate matters are being advised and being routed through V. Murali, chairman committee, that the Corporate Law Committee. My thanks to CMA KCH AVSN Murthy ji, who is chairman of the Journal Committee. I've already told Journal well in time came this month also, despite lockdown, working from home. He's taking care of all the staff, Murthy ji, and the Journal was very timely, effective. My thanks to S. Paparao ji, who is looking after the student conveniences. He is the chairman of the Students Committee, including wherein even the 4 chairmen of the regions are also the members. Is coordinating all activities related to students, seeing that the student conveniences are in time. You have seen what I've discussed, the number of measures related to student here. All such suggestions from the student community are coming from Paparao, and is minutely coordinating such suggestions so that student fraternity do not suffer. And we are with student fraternity, I recommit myself. And my thanks to CMA Chatranjan Chattopadhyay ji, who is chairman of Banking and Insurance Committee, who has recently conducted a survey on MSME and is finalizing document of that. All council colleagues working from home, and you may be surprised today when I have discussed what is happening in the institute. My thanks are due to we have 3 government nominees in our council. My thanks are due to all 3 of them. And Shri Manmohan Juneja is there, Regional Director, Western Region, is primacy nominee. We are continuously interacting with all the government nominees to see that all these publications are in time, what decisions should be taken for student member. All decisions are being discussed in advance with the government nominees, and we are working for that. I'm thankful to Manmohan Juneja ji. A government nominee is CMA Devendra Kumar ji, is also advisor MCA. We are regularly in touch to see our dates in the cost auditor is extended, and we are looking that the publication or cost audit are vetted by him at our council level, not at the government level. He is supporting the council in the initiatives. By another government nominee, Shri Sushil Banerjee is, I would say, the senior most government nominee, because the second term government nominee continuing since the last term. He was earlier there also. He has supported the council very well, giving suggestions to all the department and working, coordinating with the department's chairman and staff to see that the issue working is not affected. My overall thanks among us this to the secretary, not overall, among us the staff, I would say my thanks to the Kaushik Banerjee, who is coordinating all such activities working from home. My thanks to past presidents, chairman, convener, members of various task forces, committees for their support and initiatives of the institute at this critical times. I'm thankful for the staff of the institute who are supporting the activities, working from home in very efficient manner. Even before lockdown was announced, government had advised work from home. Most of the member services and student services are available through work from home. At times, we feel staff is working more hard. They are working at odd times, odd hours, without any holiday, and we feel they're providing more efficient services. We have moved to the online discussion during this period. My thanks to my staff colleagues, departmental heads I'm talking, definitely in his team, CMA Dr. D.P. Nandi, Senior Director Studies and Advanced Studies, working day and night to see that the student convenience is there, their classes are regular, also working on advanced study courses. I thank D.P. Nandi and his team. CMA Arup Bakshi, Senior Director Membership, and his team, who is looking after all membership, COP and matters. I've already talked about their what our convenience is giving and working efficiently in one-day services and others. My thanks to CMA S.C. Gupta ji, Senior Director HR. Without HR, you cannot do anything, and he is the one coordinator sitting at Delhi, coordinating the staff working from home in efficient manner. My thanks to CMA Nisha Diwanji, Additional Director PD and CPD. I've already discussed PD is working efficiently well, bringing a lot of programs to you, relaxations to do, everything is being put to CMA Nisha Diwanji, Additional Directors. CMA, my thanks to CMA Tarun Kumarji, Additional Director Technical. He is extremely technical and supporting various boards and committees. I've talked about number of publications, some by a department, some by other department. And behind the backbone for various publications, Tarun Kumarji is there. My thanks to him for all such publication. And here I would also like to thank Dr. S.K. Gupta, who is our working in Insolvency Professional Agency. He is also a man behind, along with Tarunji, supporting the various technical publications of the institute. Thanks to Kushal Singh Gupta, Additional Director at Calcutta office, for coordinating various activities at this backend, the need of our. My thanks to CMA Arnav Ganguly, who is very much busy these days. Additional Director examination. Students are calling him postpone the exams, but whether it is possible, there are 140 exam centers. How coordination will be there? He is working day and night to see that his exams happen in time, that is on 11th of June. Rajat Basoji, Additional Director Tax Research, already a man behind the tax bulletins and various tax programs, working efficiently and ensured that the bulletins were in time. Shri Giri Ketraji, Additional Director PR. I'm thankful to him because you must have seen large number of press and media coverages in the last few days, all because of my PR head, Additional Director Giri Ketraji. My thanks to Additional Director Research and Studies, Dr. Sumita Chakrabarti, ensuring that the journal is in time, our research and journal is in time, and she's also supporting the students' matter back at home. Thanks to Bindu Rai, Joint Director CMA Bindu Rai, who is internal control. Now, if we talk the internal control, what he is doing at home. So I cannot spend any amount till the time internal control clears our file. We have a very, very strong regulations of spending. Large systems are there. He's sitting at home to see that all our processes are in place, and he's doing that at all times also in case of emergencies. Thanks to Ashish Tiwari, Joint Director IT, working day and night. I still recall a day when we came out with the request to you that please donate, contribute for the PM fund. Gentleman Ashish Tiwari, who is back end at the IT, ensured spending 2 nights awake, ensured that that link of the banking link is there to ensure that your contribution straightway is received online. It's not easy if we say a click and the link is there. It's taken more than 2 days. Working nights are also. Among us at the back end of the webinars, member student communications, Ashish Tiwari is there. I thanks to Sumabh Banerjee, Joint Director Finance, who was so efficient. The moment fund was released, fund was approved for 2.5 crore. She ensured in few minutes, because the government, I was in touch with the government and wanted that fund should reach. We should be first in giving the fund amongst all the institutes, our sister institutes. And Soma Banerjee Madam ensured that faster track. She also ensured that my staff should not suffer and salary was relieved at convenience. The day lockdown was announced, immediately we ensured that she works extra hours, and the inconvenience given to staff working at home, doing very excellent well. CM, thanks to Charita Chakrabarti ji, CMA, who is Joint Director Journal and Publication. Journal, I've already discussed, journal team. Thanks to CMA, Shrimati Jayati Sinha, Joint Director Admin, Calcutta, coordinating all work from home things, and CMA TR Brule, Joint Director Admin, Delhi, working coordinating all from home. My thanks also to Madam Vibhu Agarwal, Deputy Director Legal. Now the word is legal. She is otherwise head of the legal, but what she is doing at home, courts are closed. But still, she is engaged much for the benefit of the institute. I discussed about CSR comments. She was the lady behind bringing to your notice about the comments, compiling the comments, and doing work. She is working. She is secretary to the corporate law department, corporate law committee, and working, coordinating all such corporate law activities in addition to the legal. My thanks to RK Jainji, Deputy Director CAT, working at the back end to see that student convenience for the student of CAT don't suffer, and also secretary of various committees. And finally, amongst the staff, the nearest to me, I'm thankful to CMA Yogendra Pal Singh, who's Deputy Director International Affairs. I already discussed that what is going at international platform. More thanks to CMA Yogendra Pal Singh. He's I'll introduce him to you. He's a president of. He's reporting to the president of the right hand to me. A lot of members think Balwinder Singh president may not be well. Let us catch hold of Yogendra Pal Singh. So he's working day and night with me, and all team members of these departments. I extend my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to all of you, all the members, all the students, for your understanding. I'll be separately addressing students also tomorrow with the details of initiatives, measures taken. Although more online facilities for member student learning through online platform was already under implementation, for student we were planning to start a robust online platform from August 2020 batch for more convenience to students across the country. So we were in the planning. Present situation has forced us to go online, though we are already in the process of implementing for more convenience. I hope let the more and more online conveniences facilities go on, increase, but not because of COVID. Let it happen because of technology improvement and convenience only, not COVID. With these words, I'm thankful to you for patient listening, and I wish you all the best. Let's hope we all come out of this situation as soon as possible. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, our Honorable President, CMA Balwinder Singh. Our members must have been deeply benefited by getting detailed information about the various steps taken by the Institute during this grave situation caused by COVID-19. As he has said, I also assure that we are providing our best services to all members and students throughout India, and all our employees are working very hard at home, day and night. Even they are working on holidays also, and we are available over phone and mail for any sort of queries from you, and we are ready to solve it at any point of time. Thanks to all members and all others who have joined us in this session. Tomorrow we will be back with our address to the students. Thank you very much.